Hello and welcome to a new video series idea I've had. This is just sort of like a test run to see if I enjoy making this or not. So yeah, I'm just gonna see if I have fun making this, and if I do, then I will make more of these. We're just gonna wait and see. So it is currently 11:10 p.m., just 50 minutes until Stranger Things episode 9 is apparently due to release. So yeah, I have a video out, well, not out as of recording, but out when this comes out about that. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Well, it's not really a video, it's just me saying if it comes out, I'll do a dance. But anyways, so I have that out. So here, I was, while waiting for supposed episode 9 to come out for that video, I was watching some YouTube on my phone. I like to put it on in the background sometimes. And this advertisement for one of these robot AI-powered weed eaters came out. And the advertisement was just so stupid that I felt the need to actually come here and rip it apart myself personally. So, in the name of all that is gardening, I am here to destroy the one thing they said in the ad before I skipped it. Now, I did try really hard. I've spent the past 15-20 minutes trying to find that advertisement again so that I could actually show it exists, so it doesn't seem like I'm more crazy than I already am, but I was unable to find it. So instead I just have a picture of a bunch of these robot weed eaters. In the advertisement, the first thing they say is basically, so weed sprays are no longer killing weeds. That is why you should buy this weed cutter, which kills weeds. Now, here is the thing. A weed cutter will not kill the weeds. The weeds are not surface creatures. They do not grow 5 milli-inches out of the ground and then just grow up like that. They have roots. That is where they live from. As long as the roots are there, they do not come out. And in the advertisement, they said that they use blades to cut up the weeds. That is not going to get rid of the weeds. That is leaving the most dangerous part of the weeds, the roots, underneath the soil. It is that simple. It is not eliminating the weeds like they claimed it was. They are actively doing blatant misinformation. Anybody who has done even just 5 seconds of yard work can tell you that you need to pull the weeds out of the ground so that they don't continue growing. Because the thing that weeds do, right? The thing that weeds do is they grow up from the ground via their roots, and then they keep growing up. And if you just cut off the top part of the weeds, the grass part of them, the roots are still there and they'll just grow up more. That is literally a band-aid fix. That is the type of fix that you legitimately do not use. That is what causes major lawn damage. And it just made me so angry that they are this stupid. There are very few things that genuinely piss me off. And one of those things is blatant stupidity. As anybody who has heard an audio message from me while I'm driving will tell you, there is nothing that gets under my skin more than people just being blatantly stupid. And this is blatantly stupid, because everybody knows to get rid of weeds, you don't just, oh, looky, I'm gonna cut off the top of the weed. Oh, look, it's a little baby weed. How cute. That's not what you do. You have to dig down into the earth, yank the weed and its roots out, and then throw it in a big pile over on your driveway, where you leave it as you pull out the rest of the weeds and shove them all in a giant fucking bag, and then leave that on the side of the road for the garbage to pick up. That is how you get rid of weeds, because if you do not do that, the weeds will come back and come back and come back and come back and come back. just cutting off the tops does not get rid of them. That does not fix it. To fix it, you need to pull the weeds out of the ground and then put them in a bag and take them off to be incinerated. Because if you do not do that, they will grow back. And even when you do that, odds are they will still grow back if any of the root is left under the ground. And yet, this advertisement thinks it's so much better than regular weeding because, oh look, we have these special little blades that cut off. I don't care. I don't care if your mother said you were special in middle school. You are not special anymore. I don't care if you got straight A's. I don't care if you won the science fair with your science fair volcano. That is not how you get rid of weeds. That is not how you do it. You get rid of the weeds by pulling them out of the ground. If you are not pulling them out of the ground, you are missing the entire purpose of weeding. If it was that easy that you just cut off the weeds, then there would not be nearly as many people who hate weeding. In fact, gardening would probably be one of the most popular hobbies of all time if weeding was not as complicated as it is. If weeding was just you pull it out of the ground, not just pull it out of the ground, no, sorry, I got me. If weeding was just you cut it off, you cut off the top of it and then the whole weed dies, everybody would love gardening. Because it is relaxing, but not weeding. Weeding is what everybody hates because you have to pull it out of the ground. The reason you see people going along with weed eaters is that they use the weed eaters actually to not eat weed. The weed eaters, they dig into it and then they yank it out by going sideways. That's why they go sideways, it's because they yank it out. They wrap the weed, they get the weed wrapped up inside their rotors and they yank it out. They don't use a blade to cut it off. No, they yank it out of the ground. If you want to make a good, useful robot that gets rid of weeds, you make it so that it yanks them out of the ground like a weed eater. Look at this. Look at this. This is a weed eater right here. See what it does? You see how he's using it? What it does is it spins around and around. The weed latches on to one of these. It latches onto this and it spins around so the weed gets caught up in these and yanked out of the ground. That is how it works. Now, compare that to, let me look this up. Blade weapon. Compare that to this. Okay, one of these that just like windshield wipers. Okay, one of these. This does not pull it out of the ground. This cuts it in half. So, if you want to get rid of weeds, you must pull them out of the ground, not cut it in half with your freaking katana. Okay, that is how you get rid of weeds. And yet, this advertisement was so stupid. They're like, oh, you cut it off. You are a robot. It's special. It goes and it cuts the weeds in half. That's not how you get rid of them. That just hides the problem so that it can come back later 10 times as powerful as it once was. Weeds are like hydras. Okay, once you cut off the top of one weed, 10 more grow back in its place. The only way to get rid of it is to yank it out of the ground. So yeah, that is factually incorrect right there. Using a blade will not get rid of weeds. You need to use, come on, where's the weed eater? You really got rid of the weed. Well, you already saw right here. You need to use one of these. This is how you get rid of it. This right here. This. It is not. Come on, you're not going to show the blade. Fine. Blade. Weapon. That is how you get rid of it. It is not one of these. It is not one of these. It is one of these. Right here. This. This is how you get rid of it. Not this, but this. You hear that? So yeah, if you see that ad and you think, oh, this will fix all of my weed issues, this will make my life worth living for, don't buy it because it will not work. This will work because it yanks the weeds out with the roots. This will not work because it just cut the weeds in half. So yeah, that was my first video of ranting about stuff that makes me angry. So let me know if this is something I should do more of or not. Anyways, that is it. I will be back in like 40 minutes for the Stranger Things thing. So until then, goodbye.
This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with us.